Hello everyone. It seems some people have trouble with the homework, so I'm going to do a problem similar to the homework problem, basically develop some code similar to the homework. And before that, I want you to remember what does it mean, for example, for 15 to be divisible by 5. That means that 15 is equal to 5 times 3 plus 0, where 0 is the remainder. Now compare that to 18, which is not divisible by 5. We have that 18 is 5 times 3 plus 3, where this 3 is the remainder. And maybe pause and figure out whether 22 is divisible by 5. Is not divisible by 5. That is 22 is equal to 5 times 4 plus 2. And now 2 is the remainder. So what you should learn from this, and by the way, if you notice that this is kind of the same as long division, good for you. What you should learn from this is that being divisible by a number or not divisible is determined by the remainder. In this case, remainder was 3, so not divisible. In this case, remainder was 2, not divisible. And in the first case, the remainder was 0, and hence 15 is divisible by 5. Alright, so go into Python. We know how this looks in Python, how the remainder looks in Python. 15 remainder when divided by 5 is 0. 18 remainder when divided by 5 is 3. So this percentage sign in Python means find remainder of 18 when divided by 5. How do we use it? We use it in Boolean conditions. 18 remainder when divided by 5 equal to 0. True or false? In this case, false, of course, and we knew that the remainder is actually not equal to 0 when we divide 18 by 5. It is 3, as we saw just above. So this is the sort of condition you will be playing with. Alright, so the following program will decide whether a number is divisible by 5. If, first of all, let's ask the user for a number, num equals to int input enter the integer, an integer. Then if remainder of this number when divided by 5 is equal to 0, then print the number is divisible by 5. And I need quotation marks. Else, the other opportunity, print the number is not divisible by 5. And that's a basic example similar to how your program should look like. So enter an integer, 22. Number is not divisible by 5. Let's compare it to when we enter 15. 15, the number is divisible by 5. And then, if you like, you can build on that. So I'm going to start a new file here and maybe create something slightly more complicated. Okay, so if number divisible by 5 and num divisible by 3, then say the number is divisible by 5 and by 3. Notice that I have to, first of all, have each Boolean correctly, so an expression equal to 0, this is what we are checking in both cases, and then we have to have an and between them. So divisible by 5 and by 3. elif num %3 is equal to 0, then the number is divisible by 3, but not by 5. All right? So how do I know that? I know how if-elif condition works. So if the number was divisible by 5 and was divisible by 3, then it is divisible by 5 and 3. And in that case, the the Python goes to after the if-elif else condition. So it would end up over here. So it's not even checking the second condition. Now, if this turned out to be false, the only way how that could happen is either this is false or that is false. And if this is true, then the other one had to be false in order for us to be checking this condition in the first place. So the number is divisible by 3 and not divisible by 5. Very similarly, let me copy and paste and change Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V. If it is actually divisible by 5, the only way how this gate could let this through all the way down there, if it is not divisible by 3. So the number is divisible by 5 and not divisible by 3. And finally, the else condition, print the number is not divisible by 3 or 5. And that is your hint.